About a week ago, started watching the documentary on Kanye.
I just told you who I thought I was, a god.
Genius. I had some really interesting thoughts watching this. I've been asking myself this question, and I have this written down in my journal 2 or 3 times last week. All my thoughts keep leading this, which is, if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that you were gonna blow up, you were gonna be a huge name, a big name, that you were gonna make it. If you knew without a shadow of a doubt, and that somebody was recording every move that you make, every deal that you do, every conversation that you have, what would you be doing differently today? How would your life look? Imagine that you had somebody with a camera that was following you around every second of every single day, from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to sleep, maybe even while you're sleeping. What would you be doing differently, knowing that you were gonna blow up and knowing that this footage was gonna be put on blast for the world to see and everyone was gonna wanna see it because you had made it? What decisions would you have made differently today? Okay, I want you to think about this. Imagine, and I know you're like, dude, that's kind of like out there. It is. And the reason why this made me think of this is, guys, what's so interesting about Kanye is when he was just getting started, he knew that he was good, but he wasn't worth $1 billion, whatever he's worth. He was just another dude, but he was getting some attention. But at that stage, even when he was not that big, he had enough foresight that he was making moves. He was already planning his life and his moves and his investments, all of it, as if it was already happening. And what I mean by that, one of the things that he did, this is way before people even had cameras and video recorders, way before this became a thing. He had a dude, this is the only reason we have this documentary, we had this guy named Cootie that was following him around, recording him doing everything. If you guys follow Gary Vee, you know how he does that. I'm wondering if Gary Vee got this idea from this, but he literally, this is back in the 90s, he had somebody following him around recording everything. He had someone following him around when he was going to Rockefeller Records and he couldn't get a deal, and he was going in to the secretaries and just rapping to the secretaries, and he was recording all of it. And now you see where he's made it and you're like, duh, that makes sense. But what you don't realize is that he didn't know for sure. Nobody knew for sure that he would be where he is today. But the things that he was doing, the moves he was putting into place, the people he was paying, all were around this idea that, dude, I'm Kanye West and I am going to be there one day. It's just a matter of time and I'm not gonna miss it. And when this happens, not if this happens. When I'm the biggest name, not if I'm the biggest name. And watching this, I just started thinking dude, I'm pretty confident, man. I'd probably consider myself arrogant. No, I would consider myself, come on, let's be honest, bro. Your boy's arrogant. But his confidence, his foresight is on another level. And I'm just Nick, what about this? Why aren't you doing that? Why don't you have that person in place? Why are you paying for somebody to be doing this? All of these things, because if you knew, Nick, if you knew you were going to be on that stage, on that caliber, at that level, then all of these investments, all of this time spent, all of these things that you would be putting in place right now would be a no-brainer. So how sold are you that you're going to be at that level? And I'm not gonna try and be a rapper, guys. It's not my game. But I'm thinking in a business sense, if you really think you're gonna be a billionaire and you're committed to it and you know without a shadow of a doubt, because you're going to put in the work and you're going to figure it out, why aren't you doing this? And why aren't you doing that? And just playing life at a different game, at a different level. And the point of this whole thing is guys, if we're in this game, if we are here right now, we have this opportunity, are we planning on our success or are we just hoping for success? Are we just hoping that we're going to get to 10K? Are we just hoping that at one point we're going to be at 50K a month? Or are we planning and going, hey, I know if I don't hire a Francesca, I'm going to be able to keep more money. But if you, Jerry Ward, knew you're going to be at 100K, and maybe you don't need this person, but if you knew and you were planning on it, would you look at it and go, I'm going to need that person when I'm at 100K, so let me go ahead and start finding them right now? What would you do differently today if you knew that you were going to blow up? If you knew that you were going to be big? If you knew that you were going to hit the numbers that you thought you were going to hit? And I think a big thing with all of us, myself included, is we're just hoping that we get to these levels. We're just hoping that we get to the 50K or the 10K or the 100K or the million, but we're not planning on it. We're not making moves as if.
If you had the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment
A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past.